What's up, guys? Mount Vernon Kid here, back again. Oh boy, it is good, very good, to finally be able to ease my comic reviews back into my schedule or so. um, yes, guys, it is really good. Welcome back. I hope you guys have been most of the people who know one of my comic reviews. Welcome back. My comic reviews are now back on the main channel. And I remember I said I was going to start it with my 200th review. I decided, you know what? Screw that. Let me just go right now. So we're at still in the 90s, 190s. If you want to watch the previous reviews, you have to go to my other channel called The Comic Zone, which I do have plans for that channel. But I'll let you know more about that later on. But today, guys, I'm here to talk about the books that came out for the first week of October. And I apologize for not putting up reviews. You know, you guys probably wanted to hear what I thought about certain things. But this time I'm I'm gonna try to keep true to continuing to give you reviews and things like that. So you're going to get two reviews. Basically, you're going to get the reviews for the books that came out October 4th, and you're going to get the books that came out for October 11th. Now, I get my books basically every 2 weeks. So I get 2 weeks of books every other week. So that's how you'll see how my reviews will be a little different now instead of weekly. Um, it's just a change in pace. It'll still be the same old reviews, but here we go. So these are the books that came out for the 4th that I picked up, and let's get to it, shall we? So as always, we're gonna break this down. We're gonna go Marvel, we'll sandwich it in with the independent books, and end it with the DC books. So let's kick it off, shall we? With ah, Astonishing X-Men number 4. Really, it should be number. Dang, I'm forgetting what number this should be. I know this should be somewhere up in the 60s or 100s now. But this is Charles Soule, as always. Very, very talented Mr. Charles Soule. I met him once before at last year's New York Comic Con. Not this year's that passed. Last year's. Very nice guy. First of all, that cover is reminiscent of a certain show that I know a lot of people watch. Um, Carlos Paccio artwork is really good in this. So what's going on in here? Okay, so give you a runabout. What's been going on is that the team has been dealing with the Shadow King. It is always good to see the Shadow King back in an X-Men book, and this time they're in the Shadow Realm as well. The X-Men, this form of the X-Men team, and even before that, Shadow King had Shadow King in this issue has taken over Old Man Logan's body. So he's going on a rampage in London, and it's up to either Bishop or Psylocke to take him out. There's a good moment in here with Bishop. First of all, it's really good to see Bishop. Um, a really good, cool moment in here with Bishop, and there's a cool moment with Psylocke as well. My girl Betsy. But the thing about it is she is doing double duties and tasks. Not only is she trying to help, this this SWAT team in England from getting killed by Old Man Logan, she's also mentally blocking the rest of the team that's in the Shadow Realm. And so she's doing double duty, just showing you how powerful Psylocke is. And it was always good to see that. However, there's a key moment here that kind of teases that someone dies. I'm not going to spoil who that was. I know this book is a week old, but I will not spoil it. So far, this has been really good. And as always, it's good to see my girl Rogue back on the X-Men. Gambit. on the X-Men again. It's good stuff. All right, let's move on to the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, number 672. I believe they do have the right numbering, I believe. Um, but Mark Waid and Jesus Seiza, I hope I'm saying that name right. First of all, as always, the Alex Ross covers are beautiful. This is a tie into the Marvel Legacy, and this is part one of Worlds Collide. And it's basically the Avengers teaming up with the young new version of the Champions. This and they're dealing with trying to stop a meteor, but you can still see that there is some sort of, I don't want to say hardship between them. It's just like they, most of the team of the Avengers, the Champions, haven't seen the Avengers or worked with the Avengers um, since Kamala, uh, Miles, and Sam left the team before the second Civil War. So there's still some animosity. You see, like, people are stepping over each other, things like that. Probably some of the great moments in here were between father and daughter, between Vision and his daughter. Um, Also, more importantly, seeing the friendship renewed between Hercules and Amadeus Cho. You know, he even says it. He says, you know, your new Hulk form is new to me, Amadeus, but now working together, it'll be just like old times. And it's just like stuff like that. You know, it's the little things that make it like they're remembering that these two used to work together. You know, so this was cool. This was not bad. It We know that this is going to lead into something more with this storyline. Um, but it's also going to, you know, lead into the story that we saw that was teased in the Marvel Legacies #1 issue. So yeah, so far not bad. Wade, you know I'm a big fan. I'm always going to be a big fan of yours, sir. Not bad, not bad at all. All right, we move on to Hawkeye #11. Kelly Thompson, Leonardo Romero. Um, Pretty much, this is a battle between Kate and Madame Mask, who is now in a cloned body of Kate. And pretty much, that's pretty much the big gist of it. It's Kate versus Madame Mask, who is in Madame Mask's mind is in a cloned body of Kate. And Hollywood sign and everything like that. Kate resolves some issues that she's been dealing with since, in terms of her father and things like that. So we get to see a lot of that dealt with in this issue. What happens at the end, I'm not going to ruin it, but it kind of, that title, Countdown to Doom, yeah, it plays a big matter in this. This was pretty good. And oh yeah, besides that, guys, I already gave out the codes on Twitter already, so I'm sorry. All right, let's move on to um, Iceman #6. My man Bobby Drake. Uh, this is #6 and the first arc of Champions Reunited Part 1. That is basically what this is, guys. This is Bobby teaming back up with the original champions. See, a lot of people who are not familiar, there was a team before. The original champions was made up of Iceman, Archangel, Ghost Rider, Hercules, and Black Widow, as well as Darkstar came along later. Um, And so this is the team getting back together with Bobby, and they're just reminiscing about their first meeting with Natasha. You know, as you all know, Natasha died, um, which is kind of sucks. But yeah, she's supposedly she's dead, and we'll just see how long that takes. But anyway, the team is reminiscing. Everybody's there. Johnny Blaze is there. Hercules is there, and some of them. And it's also Bobby's going on his first date. That he's come out of the closet now, and he's comfortable in his own skin now. He's going on his first date, and most of the gang here are like his wingmen just to make sure he's okay. There's also a female in here who actually re pre or re 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 what's the word I'm looking for? She pretty much re-engineers a dormant sentinel and and goes crazy after that. It's crazy, but mostly it's all about the reuniting of the original champions, which I thought was great. I thought it was great. I really did, because you talk about legacy. Yeah, that's right. You got to respect what came before. I know people are loving the young champions, and that's kind of what I wish they should have been called, the young champions or something like that. But you can't forget about the original champions, which was this team you see right here. But it was really good to see all of them get back together, have a drink, and just talk and laugh and things like that. It was good. This was really good. All right. This is another one of the legacies I was waiting for. Iron Fist, number 73. Sabretooth round 2. First of all, that cover is freaking amazing. Yes, people, for the longest time, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for a long time to see these two characters get back together. And Mr. Brinson brings them back together. First of all, I met the guy, current writer of Iron Fist. I met the guy at this year's Comic-Con. Nicest guy you ever meet. Very respectful. He gave me a lot of input into how he came up with his run and everything like that. Really nice guy. In this issue alone, how does Victor Creed and Daniel Rand come back together? Well, basically, after the situation that went on in the first story arc with Danny fighting in that tournament, Danny is back. And what's cool about it now is that Danny, reading the book of the Iron Fist, he has his means of getting back and forth to Kunlun without waiting 10 years for the gate to open up now. So he can go back whenever he wants. You know what I'm saying? He can go back and forth. However, he still has a baby Shu Lao in his apartment, raising it before he sends it back. And some people have been either in his apartment, but he doesn't know. So he goes. So what we see next is Danny enlisting some help, and we see him in a bar. He's in a bar and he's talking to somebody. He's talking to somebody, and he's like, "I need your help." No, he didn't say I need your help. He basically is saying he's talking to, and the bartender says, "What do you have?" And he says, "I'll have this, and give another one to my friend." This person says, "I'm not your friend. Never have been, never will be." And you're like, okay, who is he talking to? You kind of know, and then it pans out, and you see it's Sabretooth in a trench coat, and he's like, basically, "Why am I here, Rand? I don't want to be near you." Blah blah blah. Danny's like, "I need your help." And he's like, look at this security cam. What do you see? Sabretooth's being a dick. He's like, get this out of my face. And of course, we know what goes down next. A fight in a bar happens, and Danny's like, look, I kicked your ass before, say Victor. Don't let me do it again. But this time, Victor's like, I'm ready for it this time. Because you guys got to remember, Sabretooth first appeared in Iron Fist. He didn't appear in a Wolverine comic first. His first appearance was in Iron Fist. A lot of people don't know that. But in here we get to see. And we do get to see who was somewhat in Danny's apartment at the end. Who that is, I'm not going to spoil it. But it was good. The fight between Danny and Danny and Victor was really cool. It reminded me of, you remember the fight scene between Roddy Piper and Keith David, and they live. Yeah, right. They live. Yeah, where he's like, put the glasses on. That's kind of how it reminded me with that, where basically Danny's trying to get Sabretooth to look at the security footage. She's like, look at the footage, Victor. And he won't let him. It was so funny. But it was really good. This was good. I'm looking forward to part 2 of this. Very good. All right. Let's move on to Jessica Jones, number 13. Return of the Purple Man. That's all this. Yeah, this is. That's what it is, man. The return of Jebediah Kilgrave, aka the Purple Man. He's back. Kilgrave's back. And Jessica knows it. And she's using all the help she can. She warns Luke. She gets a little help from Carol. And you see Purple Man where he's at. He's at I guess an aquarium or like a Sea World, and he just and what he does is just crazy. It's just more of Jessica trying to keep little Danielle safe and warn Luke, her husband, that he's back. But it's that that ending that just like, when I read that, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Word, Bendis. Word, that's where we're going with that? Okay. I see you. I see you. Okay. I'm going to end it with that. That's it. Okay. Spider-Man number 21. I think Spider-Man is this is gonna go back to its legacy number 2. But basically what this is Miles is in Japan. He's fighting an inhuman girl who has the ability to control technology, I believe, and we've seen her before. But he's there, and that's pretty much it. The person that told him where it is, that's where I'm just like, especially when Miles tells his dad where he's at and what his dad does at the end, who he's speaking to, I was just like, okay, where's this going, Bendis? Really? Once again, 2 Bendis books, and I'm just like, word, Bendis, word, that's where we're going, word. That just really kind of boggles me. Who that is, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll give you a clue. No, I can't give you a clue because you might get it. Star Wars, number 37. This is Mr. Aaron's last. This is his last issue that he's writing because a new writer's taken over. After who is it again? I'm forgetting. I want to make sure I remember. Oh yeah. Kieron Gillian's taken over. I'll see where it goes. Gillian's writing is okay to certain degrees. Sometimes he's not, I don't really, but it has Salvador Larroca's artwork, so I'm a big Salvador Larroca's fan. But it's these stormtroopers just wrecking havoc. That's pretty much what it is. you don't see Luke and Leia and all them until the rebels until the end after these stormtroopers just ransacked this planet, and that's pretty much the gist of it. Um, but not bad for Mr. Aaron to go out on. I'm gonna miss him on this title, but just I don't want him getting overboard with titles, and you start getting writer's block. You start seeing like you're telling kind of the same story that you're telling in this. I don't want that for Mr. Aaron. But this was this was very interesting. Was it great? No, but it was still interesting. Uh, make sure I get this right. Okay, just want to make sure. All right, we move on to X-Men Gold, number 13, Mojo Worldwide, Part 1. Yeah, Gillian, no, Guggenheim, excuse me, and Mayhew. Um, Mayhew's artwork is really good in this. Pretty much, it's the team dealing with Mojo, and it's been a long time since we dealt with that fat, spineless blubber butt, you know. And of course, Mojo is being Mojo. Ratings are down, so he needs help. So who does he turn? Who does he kidnap? Of course, the X-Men once again. This issue starts out with an old traditional X-Men baseball game, which can't beat that. That is classic. It is always good to see the X-Men having their traditional baseball game. One of the funniest things in there was seeing Wolverine and Jimmy Hudson talking to each other. Well, old man Logan, he's like, "So I've been told you're my son from another world." Yep, that's good. Yep. I was like, typical. But no, other than that, it was really good. This was just really cool to see Mojo taking the X-Men, bringing them to his world, putting them in his. But this time he's gone worldwide with his TV shows. So everybody on the planet is seeing what's going on with the X-Men. And you get to see a couple of things, like they go back to some of their old looks, especially uh, Rachel. Rachel, who looks like how she looked back in her original one when she was a hound. When she was like one of the mutant hunting hounds. But this was pretty good. This was fun. It's really fun to see them bring characters like Mojo back. I mean, he's a character I actually want to see brought to the movies. I'm kind of burnt out in terms of the X-Men. I'm kind of burnt out a little bit on Magneto, and they kind of fucked up Apocalypse. You know, I want to see Sinister. I want to see, you know, Mojo, things like that. I want to see the Savage Land. I want to see the Savage Land. You know. All right, moving on. We're out of the Marvel. So that was all the Marvel books. Like I said before, guys, you guys know me, my code mongers. I put the codes on Twitter. I put those codes up a while ago. But we're moving on to Dynamite and DC Comics. This is under Dynamite, but you knew I had to get this, baby. The Shadow and Batman. This is the third time that these two characters are meeting. First of all, I had to get the David Finch cover. I'm a big David Finch fan. Steve Orlando and Giovanni Tipano, I hope I'm saying that name right, does the artwork. This was great. This was great. The first beginning of... So basically what the gist is right now is that Batman has come to New York because Robin, that little prick, yes, guys, I do not like Tim Drake. Little I'm trying not to curse, but little is now operating in the Big Apple, his own cave and everything like that. But, and that's fine. They were there dealing with Professor Pig, classic character. My favorite part of this is when the professor met the Shadow, and he gave him the stare, and he came in, and you will tell me what you know, because the Shadow knows. Yes, that was the best part of seeing that. No meeting between these two yet, but it was just a little piece, a little teaser of what's to come, and that was fine. But Professor Pig meeting the Shadow, that was the killer. That was the boss mode right there. All right, let's move on to Lion Forge, and we're back with Volume 2 of Voltron. Legendary Defender. No, guys, I have not watched the new season yet. I will. But this was fun. This was really fun. So the team is on a world helping out refugees. They now need to leave their planet because there's nothing left. So the team needs to help them find a new world to occupy. They're like cat-like humanoid creatures, and I was like, is this supposed to be a shot, like a little wink at maybe Thundercats? I don't know. It was just something like that. It made me think like that. But this was pretty good. It felt just like the series, but it was good. It was good nonetheless. All right, and we're moving on to we move on to NEC, or New England Comics Press, and Cullen Bunn, Jimmy Z bring us the first issue of the new ongoing series for The Tick. Spoon. You know I had to get this. You guys know yes. It's The Tick and Arthur versus ninjas and group clown gang. This cover sums it up right here, which is pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It has all the classic Tick moments and memorabilia and just moments you would think you would come out of a Tick comic. The artwork is very homage to the original. Things like that. The story, like I said, it's just what I just said. It's pretty like that. But Cullen Bunn does a good job with writing. And when I said spoon, I mean it, because you actually hear Tick say it. But he says it in French, which is so funny. But yeah, it was good. This is fun. I can't wait to issue 2. The Tick, #1. Good stuff, guys. All right, move on to Zenescope, or Zenescope, however you pronounce it. And of course, we're moving on to the next mini of Robyn Hood, The Hunt, #3. Robyn is on a planet, a prison planet, and she's trying to survive. She just escaped the prison that she's on. It's a prison planet, and she's trying to survive. She's in run for her survival, because all the people she's made enemies with is on this planet with her. The warden has sicked all those people on her, and it's a race against time and a race against Robyn for her life. She's got to stay one step ahead of these people, like Red Death and all those. That's one of her villains, Red Death. And is she weaponless? No, but she's on a planet. She's on a different planet. She's unfamiliar. She's in unfamiliar territory. She doesn't know how to get off this planet. But the fact is, she has to do one thing, and that is survive and stay one step ahead of her opposition. And that is something that we see in this, and this was really good. You get to see Robyn think on her feet. How do I stay? But it ends kind of in that dun 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 moment. And that's all the indie books I have. I got. Let's move on to the DC books. All right. The War of the Jokes and Riddles. This is Batman number 32. Um, Tom King. This was okay. I don't know. Just I don't know. This just it's okay to me. The war between Joker and Riddler. And it seems like Batman was kind of like second fiddles in his own title. Riddler even goes on to say, like he always had a problem with Joker and things like that, but Batman was like nothing to him. He said, "I could have killed you anytime I wanted, no matter what." And when I'm reading this and I'm saying to myself, "Okay, Edward, if you could have done that, why didn't you? Why didn't you?" And yeah, of course, yeah, it's the writers, but why didn't you? You're not as smart as you think you are. That's kind of how I was looking at it. The other stuff is between Catwoman and Bruce, and Selina gives Bruce the answer that probably most people have been looking for and what he's been looking for in terms of when he proposed to her. What was it? I'm not going to ruin it. Green Arrow number 32. This is Dark Knight's Metal tie-in. Witness the Wrath of the Batman Who Laughs. Pretty much it's the team of Ollie, Nightwing, Mr. Terrific, Damian dealing with the Batman Who Laughs, things like that. Ollie promised Batman that he would keep Damian safe and things like that. Does he keep his promise? You have to read this for yourself. I'm not going to ruin too much for you. But yeah, it was okay. This was all right. I'm reading Metal, but I'm not collecting it. It's just. But any book that I read that ties into it, I'm just like, yeah, okay. But other than that, yeah, it's okay. Um, them trying to save some of the allies that they made and things like that. But it is what it is. All right. Green Lantern number 32. Family conflict, cosmic chaos. Humphreys. This is the issue called House Party, and that's pretty much what this is. We see Cruz and Boz about to have pancakes, which they always seem to do, which they do, and they get a call. They go into action, then they go back, and then Simon gets a call from his sister, so they head out to Michigan, and she's having a house party out there, and Jessica's still very iffy about being around big crowds, and she is kind of like avoiding people and things like that. Jessica really has some issues, and it's good to see them. She's kind of getting through them, but Simon meets an old buddy of his that was like a childhood friend, and they seem to have a falling out, and they don't talk to each other, and like, screw you, why are you bringing? And Simon's sister just locks him into a bathroom and says, "You two are gonna work it out." And while she and Jessica just have fun and uh, just talk and everything like that, Jessica seems to may have found like there's a guy she was talking to, and I'm like, okay, Jessica's maybe trying to get a boyfriend or so. But she finds out later that this guy is kind of like a jerk. He cares more about looks and everything like that, and he sees Jessica as Green Lantern. He's just like, oh, man, she's so great. I wonder who she is. And I'm like, dude, you're talking to her. Jessica doesn't wear a mask. She doesn't wear a mask, so it's like you could see who that is, but he's a jerk, and Jessica starts playing with him with the ring and everything like that. There is a scene where John Stewart basically tells him, like, you guys protect Earth, but you don't even really protect the entire sector of 2814. So basically, John is telling him, step up. you know, things like that. And yeah, this was okay. It was a straight standard issue, nothing fancy, nothing. Just just seeing them kind of chill, relax, be cool. You know, that's pretty much what it was. Not bad. All right. Um, Justice League number 30. This is the legacy story where we're seeing some of the kids of the future kids of, I guess, the Justice League. Diana, son, you know, and the funniest thing is when you see that, um, Steve Trevor asks, okay, whose son or whose child are you? And he says, Diana's son says, not yours. I was like, jeez. Sounds like I'm believing it's Superman and her because he has a cape on that looks like Superman's. But it's mainly a gist of stopping said person, who we find out who this person is. I'm forgetting the woman name, the villain name, who is controlling certain aspects in Wonder Woman. Indeed, we find out who it is, and it's kind of like, wow. We see the future Aquaman, what he what his play in this all is, and why him and his daughter have a falling out. And future Aquaman's just really messed up. I mean, he's older, but he's a cyborg, and he's not just any cyborg. I'm gonna spoil this for you guys. He has Victor's body. I'll show it to you. I'll actually show it to you. And it's just, it's almost like, what the hell, Arthur? What did you do? Um, where is it? Show you. I'll get a good view of it. I can't. Uh, okay, can't. All right, well, here he is right here, right there. He's wearing Victor. It's just, oh my God. But yeah, it's kind of just bad on the front like that. Just like, what did you do? Like, who and who is the villain? I'm not gonna ruin that. But yeah, this is okay. Legacy Part 3, I think. Yeah, it's not bad. And last but not least, we end this with Superman number 32, Breaking Point. Um, it's basically Superman versus Deathstroke. Now, in this, you're probably saying to yourself, "The hell, Slade? What are you thinking?" Um, Slade basically has Slade basically has he's trying to prove a point to Superman of basically um sorry about that. He's trying to make a point, like Superman's breaking point, in terms of how do I break you? Like, how do I? What is your weakness? You know, basically, really, besides kryptonite and everything, but there's there's physical and there's emotional weakness, and that's what Slade is doing. Um, you would think to yourself, you know, Deathstroke, if Superman punched him, he'd probably kill him. Slade actually comes kind of prepared. You know, he does come prepared. You know, he comes prepared in terms of the aspect of he gets his suit is reinforced with technology that is able to, when Superman punches somebody, or if Superman punched him, that the same amount of force that Superman punched with would come back at Superman. So it's like a kinetic barrier. Bam, it's like bam, he hits it off of him, and it's going to come back to Superman. And after a while, you know, Superman's like, okay, all right. He's like, all right, I see that. I got And so he's like, okay, I see that. Okay, let's see how tough that suit really is. Let's see let's see how strong it is. You know. So what does he do? He basically Superman just goes into super mode and just start rapidly punching, and he damages it. The suit can't keep up with that much pressure. But who is Superman stroke targeting? I forgot to even tell you that he's targeting Lois. So he knows. So he starts to figure out that he remembers when they met before. Superman had he always was protecting Lois, and that's what this is. It's a game of cat and mouse of Superman protecting Lois, but also Deathstroke trying to see would Superman go to that extreme in terms of killing him to stop Deathstroke from trying to kill Lois. We all know Superman wasn't going to do that, but it's to find out to see who's the person that hired Deathstroke. I looked at that. I'm like, really? I'm like, this bitch. Excuse my language. It's like this. Who? Yeah, I just said that bitch. So you know who I'm talking about. I'm gonna ruin that for you. Yeah, it's it's pretty much Amanda Waller. Yeah, and I apologize for that. But other than that, guys, that was the books that I got for October 4th. Those I enjoyed reading those as always. If I was to pick a a book of that week, because I might start doing picks of the week for that for now. I might start doing it. If I was to give a pick of the week, and usually, as you all know, my mentor, the one who got me into doing the comic reviews, Blue Goblin, always says the book that he enjoyed the most. For me, that's definitely kind of the same thing. If I was to say what was the book that I read the most that I was so giddy about reading, it'd probably have to be Iron Fist number 73. This was the one that when I was reading it, I was just like, just happy because finally something that I know I'm as an Iron Fist fan for a long freaking time, since I was 10, who read that issue long ago, seeing I wanted to see that. And I did. Yeah. Other than that, thank you for watching. I'll be back with another episode for the books that came out for the 11th. Y'all take care. Mama and the kid. Peace. One love. Stay tuned. To all my comic fans and geeks out there, y'all be cool.